Look over here. No. She got hiccups. Alright, so, you good? So we're a little bit behind on our videos because Kira's been keeping us busy. But in the videos, we were just getting to one of my favorite keys of pretty much all the Bahamas, which was Shroud Cay. So let's jump back to that footage now. We're going from Wardrick Wells to Shroud Cay. We are sailing. Forecasts here aren't great, so there might be some nasty winds and weather coming in, or there might not be, but either way, we're moving on. And now we're moving to Shroud Cay. Wind is good for sailing today, and we are going about 7.5 to 8 knots, and close hauled sailing. That's a good speed. We're getting there. We're beating boat, we're beating other people. We've got some repairs we gotta make once we get into this anchorage. It's only like a 3-hour trip up there, so. And hopefully we'll have cell signal. We've not had any really cell service for the past 2 days. So the further north we get, we're thinking we might get something. That way we can even just check weather. I know it's not pointing well, but we are sailing at between 30 to 40. We dropped hook off of Shroud Cay for the evening. Now, Shroud Cay is an interesting key for a number of reasons. From the rare long-tailed white birds to the miles of mangrove-lined cuts lacing the inner island like arteries of a circulatory system, Shroud Cay offers an abundance of opportunities to explore its nature. Historically speaking, Allens Cay to the north and Shroud Cay to the south have a relationship rooted in drug smuggling. Allens Cay was the home of an infamous drug smuggler named Carlos Ledger in the 80s. We'll discuss him later, but Camp Driftwood was a site on Shroud Cay where the US DEA agents spied on the drug smuggler's activities to get a better idea of the comings and goings of his planes. As for us, we explored the mangrove canals for a few days. We found that this was really only possible at the top half of the tide cycle. Below that, our dinghy was impassable in many places and we had to drag it by hand. We're trying to make it to this camp, Driftwood camp or whatever. The tide is just high enough to allow us to make slow progress. We can't go fast because if we go fast then the boat tips and the propeller hits the sand, so we're going slow. And I'm probably going to have to pull the boat the last 100 yards or so here. It's getting super shallow.
I see a beach.
You can see the tide coming in. It's coming! It's good for us, so it gets easier to get back. We're walking on the seabed. All the water's drained. Ugh, slimy.
Sometimes I think.
Yeah, sometimes you sink, sometimes you don't. And now we're walking through a pine forest. It's so strange, so varied. What did you find? Found a jungle gem. What is it? It's soft. We have remoras cleaning our boat right now outside. They're the fish that stick onto the bottom of sharks. And they're cleaning our boat earlier when we got back. And they're still here swimming around. There he is. That's one. We have at least two. They're crazy fish. They swim upside down and they got big flat mouths. And they suck onto things. And I guess our boat is worth cleaning. Where's the other one? 3 of them.
Hey, hey, hey.
We made it to Camp Driftwood.
Camp Driftwood! In our opinion, this is better than Boo Boo Hill.
Yeah, prettier.
Prettier, for sure.
Down the river now.
There's stuff in them? Dead?
Yeah, they're alive.
Shells on the tree.
I'm gonna roll down the river now. Down that river. Gonna head to the place where I know I belong.
We motored from Shroud Cay over to Allens Cay. It was a very windy ride over, and had it been longer we might not have done it, but we knew it was only an hour to get from there to here. So we're here now, and we honestly haven't done much about going to shore or exploring because it's so freaking windy. It's gonna be windy for the next 2 or 3 days, but at least we got a little bit of cell phone signal on the iPad, so we have some data and forecasts. But this is gonna be a cool place to explore once the winds allow it. In the meantime, it's just us and a bunch of boats that are kind of hiding out here in the lee of the island away from all the wind. Before it was blowing up to 29.7, so that's a lot of wind. And we are just kind of hanging out. Today we made nachos with what little nachos ingredients we have. And we're going to take a break from editing. And I think the projector is ready to use, so we're gonna try it out. Mounted up here by the mount. The bottom part of the mount, the part that's attached to the projector, I've still got to finish, but... So, now let's put a movie on.
One bump on the face of that wave.
What happened to Ryan's face?
I just spent the past half hour sanding gel coat downstairs. I have no idea what I look like, but I might go jump in the water. So I can get freshened up. Because apparently I look funny.
What's going on? Fun.
We're being boring because the weather's terrible. Terrible as in not fun for exploring. Rain is so thick you can't even see the islands that are just a mile that way. We're still stuck here, just kind of due to wind and waves and periodic rain, but mostly the waves. And the way that a lot of these islands, especially down here in the Exumas, seem to be working is that you get these waves that come around the islands and hit you on the beam, even though you're facing dead into the wind, you'll have waves coming around the islands and getting you on the beam called swell. And I just learned about this thing called a swell bridle. I had tried using a stern anchor before, and that's just kind of a pain. But a swell bridle is this really swell idea that you can use your primary anchor and then just use some extra line to turn yourself. I don't want to turn too much because it's really windy and we have so much freeboard that I don't want to put too much strain on the anchor or the cleats or any of that stuff because it's still blowing about 20 to 22 every now and then. But this is what it looks like. I tied to the stern cleat and I've turned this about 45 degrees to the wind and about 45 degrees to the waves, so it's kind of a compromise. But for the catamaran, that means we're actually hitting the waves kind of on the longest axis of the boat, which has significantly smoothed out the rolliness. I mean, yes, we don't roll like a monohull, but it was still kind of just annoying and uncomfortable. And why not experiment and try to make yourself more comfortable if all it takes is some extra rigging and know-how. So that's what we've done here. And so far, it seems to have a dramatic improvement upon the feel of the boat from the rolling. We took some time one afternoon to install a lock on our companionway door. We were planning on spending a few days anchored in Nassau and wanted to be able to lock up when we left the boat. The door's built-in lock is seized shut and has no key. The door is 20 years old and French built, and we've yet to be able to locate a replacement. So we've gone low tech and purchased a gate lock from a home improvement store. After modification, it's actually worked out quite well. We had a little bit of a problem. All of a sudden the starboard engine started shaking very badly, like vibrating very badly. So we immediately throttled down, put it in neutral, and it stopped shaking so badly. And there was no warning lights on, the water was still coming out the side, so like, it doesn't seem like it's a belt, it doesn't seem like it's something bad, and it was idling fine at neutral. So we're thinking something's on the propeller, but we're not gonna be able to tell until we get closer to land. So hopefully it's just something that's on the propeller and it's not a big deal and it didn't mess up our sail drive, and that's a little bit worrisome. We sorted the propeller fouling issue, and then now we made it to the airplane. So we're gonna go see this stupid airplane. This is our second attempt after many days of waiting, and then we're gonna probably head back up to Highborne Cay because it's not really a great anchorage right here for the wind direction. One of the highlights of the area is a sunken plane, presumably a drug plane, in shallow enough water to allow it to be a popular snorkeling spot. Aside from the protection of the anchorage brought us, our main goal with Allens Cay was to snorkel the plane. Allens Cay was the headquarters for a cartel drug smuggling operation in the early 80s. The operation was extensive, with armed patrols, guard dogs, and even a kilometer-long runway that was built to facilitate the plane landings. In modern times, the Cay has a small population, a functional airport, and a sometimes open restaurant. We stopped briefly for weather at Highborne Cay and went in to grab some groceries at one of the few markets in Exumas. Highborne is a private key, but you can walk the public areas of the marina and visit a whole heap of skulking sharks.
We're surrounded by sharks.
Sharks everywhere! Alright, so the wind died down last night, which allowed us to go over to Allens and Leaf Cays this morning, which is where the big iguanas are, or one of the places, rather. And we're gonna go look at the iguanas and see what it's all about. Looks fun from other people's videos. It's kind of creepy. I feel like they're just hiding in the bushes watching us. People said they can be aggressive, wanting food and stuff. Maybe there are no iguanas and it's all just a big joke. Do you see movement in the bushes? I feel like we're gonna be ambushed.
Where are they? Maybe this is the wrong beach.
I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to have iguanas. Here, iguana, iguana, iguana. Yip, yip. On the hunt for the ferocious iguana. I see one.
Where?
Right there. There he is. See him? Here, iguana, iguana, iguana. Hi! He's just luring us into the trap. There's another one. We're being surrounded. It's like Jurassic Park. They're like raptors. They hunt in packs. Oh, there's one.
But they're running away.
Yeah, they're not half so friendly as people made them out to be. Maybe we're not one of the locals. Oh, hey buddy. I'm wondering, those are iguana holes right there. Iguana holes maybe? Anybody home? We have food. Oh, snap. Hey buddy, you're littler. One of them is stalking Jessica. We're not feeding them, we're just throwing shells. Because apparently you're not supposed to feed them. But they think we're feeding them. Psych. To create confusion. I don't think you want to hold one.
The red one. So they are native.
Oh snap! Hey! Oh sucker! Hey!
So they are native to the Bahamas, I read. And they are endangered.
Endangered?
That's what I read.
The iguanas used to be far more numerous on the other islands of the Bahamas, but early explorers considered them to be good eating, and as a result their populations disappeared from all but a few of the islands. Yet iguanas are now classified as endangered. You are standing on a unique island because it's a home of colony of endangered Exuman iguanas. The iguanas inhabiting the Exuma Islands are considered to be among the world's most endangered lizards and are found nowhere else. These iguanas are vegetarians and important to the island because they help disperse seeds, prunes, plants, and help maintain a healthy plant community. Oh, oh! He hit him with his tail.
If you want to attract the iguanas, dangle your anchor.
Yeah, they like the anchor noise. That makes the birds come, and the birds make them come, and grab some shells and throw them around like you're throwing fake food, because the shells work. And with that, we wrap up our time in the Exumas. Next time, we go to Nassau, and then we hop over to the Berry Islands, where we hang out with some friends. So a quick note, we're starting up our clothing line again that we had. You'll see, I'll put the link down below, but you might see the shirts actually pop up below the videos now. Yeah. And if you're interested, that's a really great way to support the channel, and we have fun designing them and creating them. Thanks for all your support. That's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next video. Oh, you're sticking your tongue out at the camera. She likes sitting up like a person.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, like, yeah, get mommy in the picture. There's Jessica.